Lynette Zing addressed the issues of assets that will be beneficial in the near future. She talked about the importance of having physical gold and silver as safe assets to be free and secure. Lynette said that a big problem is that we have been taught that if Wall Street tells us this is the value of something, well, then it must be the value of something, when that is really inaccurate. So, when you ask where gold is going in terms of dollars or euros or yen or any of that fiat money, a lot higher, but the reason is because its most important function is to hold its value. So, if you look at what the global central bankers are doing for themselves, they are basically accumulating gold at the highest levels that they have ever recorded, even as the price has been consolidating 1460, whatever. Lynette adds up that we concluded a cup, but it's still dirt cheap at 1900. It's dirt cheap at 8000. It's dirt cheap because the way that the government and central banks use gold is to revalue the fiat money, dollars, euros, yen. For those that are not aware, the translation is by decree. So it's government legalized money. And what do we know about governments if they have the right to legalize it? We saw this in India just a couple of years ago. They demonetized something like 95% of the currency that was out of there in order to push their population into going cashless, because frankly that gives them a lot more control. So you don't earn physical gold outside of the system because it's going to go up in nominal terms, and anytime you hear nominal or notional, that means really there's not a clear value. That is just a number representation. You own physical gold in your possession because it is outside of their system and because it performs the same. The most important function that it always has, it holds value. Now, why does it hold value regardless of what happens with the stock market? Lynette answers that it holds value because it actually has the broadest base of the buyer of any asset out there. In other words, it's used in manufacturing, it's used in the financial system, it's used in medicine, it's used in food, it's used in art, it's used in jewelry. Globally, it has demand across every single sector and segment of the global economy. So maybe the price goes up, maybe it goes down. Historically, before we went on the fiat system, it would go inside of a range. But there is always demand because what gold does for governments and central bankers, which is why they don't like it. It forces them to have fiscal responsibility and it puts limitations on the debt that they can grow. And as we have seen, particularly since the financial crisis hit in 2008, what we have like tripled or quadrupled our debt levels. So they wouldn't have been able to do that if we were on the gold standard. But that is exactly why it would be a very good idea. Having said that, when there is a reset of the financial system that has already begun, and we know this also because if you look at all of the traditional bank layoffs that have been going on and the rise of financial technology, well, there is that shift that's happening right there. Those that hold it, which is why the central bankers are buying it. You are going to have massive opportunities. We are the healthiest or the least sick horse in the glue factory. Everybody is still in the glue factory. The real test of the value of a currency is in how much you can buy with it, your purchasing power. That's the inflation that the central bankers keep talking about. And they say that they can't reach that 2% inflation target. And they are shifting some things in there, as well getting us to run a lot hotter with inflation. But if you could take a minute and look at your personal experience, that's really how you value a currency for the individual, is how much can you buy with this. And a year ago, was not it that most Americans couldn't come up with 500 in an emergency and the more current numbers? Recently, where they couldn't come up with 400 in an emergency. So it's not getting better out there for the normal population, and their cost of living has definitely gone up way more than that inflation level. Having said all of that, you should also take a look at the derivative contracts on gold. The Office of the Comptroller of the Currency publishes a quarterly report on derivatives held in FDIC insured banks. When you look at the trajectory of those gold contracts and then you put that with data that before they change the accounting rules, because that's what they do. They don't change the behavior, they change the accounting rules. But the data were from the Bank for International Settlement stating that for every 1 ounce of physical gold, there were 62,000 ounces of digital gold. They can do anything. They can do anything they want with the visible price, because none of that really makes sense for the level of buying that the central banks have been doing since 2008. Before that, they were net sellers. They were selling gold to suppress the price, but you just sell a simple contract that cost you $150 to control 500 ounces of physical gold or 5,000 ounces of physical silver. That's a lot of leverage, and it's pretty damn cheap. When all you have to do is push a button, you have to go out and mine it or process it, and a lot of people just put too much confidence in these intangible instruments that are really designed by Wall Street, and a lot of their function is in perception management. In other words, getting you to believe what you see so that you move forward in a way that supports their goals. So everybody, here is the end of Lynette's thoughts. Now I would like to know your thoughts about Lynette's views. Do you agree with her, or you would like to give some suggestions to me and our YouTube family? And if you want more such videos, then please like this video, share it to your family and friends, and subscribe to this beautiful channel. I'll catch you in my next beautiful video. Till then, bye bye.